A few months ago, I was building a tool to help people find visa-sponsored jobs in the UK. If you don't know what that means, basically, if you're an immigrant in this country, your employer has to have a specific license to be able to hire you, which means that job hunting for us isn't just the regular horrors of job hunting. There is a whole extra layer of friction for us because there is extra friction for the company, which makes it rare to find companies that are willing to sponsor you. There are, in fact, platforms that have built entire businesses around this. They aggregate visa sponsored job listings and they charge job seekers to access them. That's fine. I get it. That is a full fledged product. It just so happens that I was also looking for a visa sponsored job at the time, and hence I needed that data as well. So I did what any developer does when they hit a paywall. I just had an innocuous look around, hoping to find something, but not expecting anything. I'll get to what I found later, but what I did find was very embarrassing. But at the time, I wrote it off. It could just be one lazy dev with a bad Friday afternoon chip, right? Shit happens, it's fine. There are a few different ways to approach this paywalling problem. One of them is that the server controls everything. The client, so your browser, requests the server to send data down, and the server either says, yes, here's the data, or it says, no, you are not on the appropriate subscription tier, or something along those lines. That means that the data never actually gets to your device, and there is no way to harvest it without actually breaking into the server, which I believe is illegal. The other way is for an implementation to send everything down to the client. So when I request some data, everything is sent by the server, and my browser then decides to either show that data or not show that data. And the problem with the second approach is that the data is already on my device and I can just choose to get that data out. Client-side protection is not enough. The way this platform is doing it is a curtain approach because the browser already has this data. So here's exactly what I did. You go to this job board and your browser was constantly making network requests in the background, basically asking the server, please give me the next page of results. If I copy this API request and put it in a terminal, and I can run it for myself. And you see this parameter here, page equals 1. That means that the browser is requesting the backend server for page 1 of results. And I did something extremely simple. I changed it to page number 2 instead. And the server doesn't check anything. It just gives you page 2. And it gives you page 3. And gives you page 4. This is well and truly something that should not be happening, especially for software that is supposed to be running in production for actual clients, serving actual customers in the real world. In the evening, I made a scraper for job ops and then I moved on. But over time, I kind of realized that this is weird. This shouldn't be happening. These aren't scrappy startups. These are established startup platforms, and they have established businesses, and they've been in operation for years now, and they have enterprise tiers, and they have serious looking pricing pages, and they're charging real money to real customers. So then I'm thinking, if one of them has made this decision, how many more have made this decision, right? And literally the next website I pull up has the same problem. So now that's 2 different companies and 2 different teams and 2 different code base that came to the exact same decision that client-side filtering is an okay way for this to go. This isn't a bug, and this isn't just one developer having a bad day. This is seemingly what happens when a whole industry decides that this is what their security standards are. Now, I want to be fair. The data on these platforms is genuinely useful. It is curated, it is verified, it is specific. I understand why people would pay for this. But you look at these prices, and then you look at the engineering that is protecting this data itself, and you see a mismatch there. Think about who's actually buying this. It's not big companies with massive recruitment budgets. It is job seekers, and especially it is people who are on visas with deadlines, people for whom missing one deadline isn't just a tiny setback. It is a massive immigration consequence. These are people who have all of their eggs in one basket and not by choice. These platforms deliberately chose this market. And then this is the best they can come up with? I'm not angry at the developers. I have shipped bad code, everyone has. But what I am surprised by is how no one looked back at this and thought, maybe we should make this real before we start charging people money for it. You know what you should do? Open a job board, anyone, and look at the network requests. See if you can find a similar page 123 based pagination support and paste the curl request in your terminal. Look at what comes back. I would be extremely surprised if these two are the only ones that are doing it this way. Tell me what you find in the comments below. This whole thing is why I built job ops, not to bypass paywalls, but because when I looked behind the curtain, I realized that you shouldn't have to pay for this data. The data already exists. You just need the right tools to go out and find it. Job ops collects data from many more sources. It is free, it is open source, and it is linked below in the description. And if you're working at any one of these companies and you're watching this video, you already know what to do on Monday morning.